Hello, boys and girls. This is Pa. Are you ready for another bedtime story? You are? Great. Have you brushed your teeth? Well done. And I see you've got your jammies on. Lovely. Now grab Ted and hop up onto the bed. That's it. Snuggle in as we get ready for another bedtime story with Pa. Tonight's story is about Addi and her dad, who go for a boat ride with the Mermaids. Addi woke up in the morning with a big smile on her face. She hurried out to the kitchen where her dad, Uncle Jezza, was making toast. "Dad, Dad," Addi said excitedly. "Do you think the mermaids might come back today?" Uncle Jezza smiled as he handed her a piece of toast. "Well, Addi, if we head back to the cove, you never know what we might find." That was all Addi needed to hear. Soon, Addi and her dad were walking down the little track to the hidden cove once again. Addi wore her shell necklace safely around her neck, and every now and then she touched it gently, hoping it might bring a little mermaid magic. When they reached the water, the cove was calm and sparkling in the sunshine. The waves made soft splashing sounds against the rocks, and a cool breeze danced through the reeds. Then Addi's necklace began to glow. "Dad," she whispered, "look! Out in the water." 3 shimmering tails appeared, flicking through the waves. A moment later, the magical mermaids rose up from the cove, smiling brightly. "Hello again, Addi," called the mermaids. "And hello, Uncle Jezza," they said. "We have a surprise for you both," the mermaids said, with their eyes twinkling. From behind the reeds floated the most beautiful little boat Addi had ever seen. It was made of pale smooth wood, with soft blue cushions inside, and tiny silver shells painted all along the sides. At the front of the boat was a carved mermaid with flowing hair, and around the edges tiny lanterns shimmered like stars. Addi gasped. "It's beautiful," she said. "It's our mermaid boat," said the mermaids. "Would you and your dad like to come for a ride?" "Yes, please," Addi squealed with excitement. Her dad, Uncle Jezza, laughed. "I don't think there's any way we could say no to that." The mermaids guided the boat gently to shore. Uncle Jezza helped Addi climb in first. Then he stepped in beside her. The boat bobbed softly on the water, warm and safe, like it had been made just for adventures. As soon as everyone was ready, The mermaids swished their sparkling tails and began to pull the boat out across the cove. Addi held onto the side and looked all around in wonder. The water beneath them was crystal clear, and she could see fish darting below like flashes of silver light. Tiny crabs scuttled across the rocks near the shore, and seabirds glided overhead. The boat drifted farther and farther until they reached a hidden part of the cove Addi had never seen before. There, the water glowed the most beautiful shade of blue. "What is this place?" Addi whispered. "This," said the mermaids, "is Mermaid Bay." All around them, the sea seemed to sparkle with magic. There were floating lily pads covered in white flowers, smooth stones that shone like pearls, and little waterfalls tumbling gently into the water from the cliffs above. The whole bay felt peaceful and secret, like a hidden dream. Then the mermaids gave the boat a playful tug, and it began to glide faster. "Hold on," laughed Uncle Jezza. Addi squealed with delight as the boat skimmed across the water. It wasn't bumpy or scary. It felt smooth and magical, like flying over the sea. The mermaids took them past a tiny sandy island where bright shells covered the shore. They stopped so Addi could hop out with her dad and collect some treasures. Addi found a spiral shell, a smooth green sea stone, and a little heart-shaped shell she decided she would keep forever. When they climbed back into the boat, the mermaids smiled. "Would you like to see dolphins?" they asked. "The dolphins?" Addi said, nearly bouncing off her seat. The mermaids nodded and pulled the boat toward the open water. Soon, a pod of dolphins appeared, leaping gracefully beside them. They splashed and clicked and spun through the waves, as if they were putting on a special show just for Addi and her dad. Addi laughed so hard her cheeks hurt. Her dad, Uncle Jezza, waved to the dolphins, and one of them gave a cheeky splash with its tail, spraying a little mist of water into the air. Next, the mermaids sang a magical sea song. Their voices were soft and sweet, and as they sang, little glowing fish rose up from the deeper water, surrounding the boat like floating stars. The whole cove shimmered. Even Uncle Jezza sat quietly for a moment, taking in the magic. "This is something I'll never forget," he said. Addi leaned against her dad and smiled. "Me either." As the afternoon sun began to dip lower in the sky, the mermaids slowly guided the boat back toward the shore. Addi wished the ride could last forever. When they reached the cove, her dad, Uncle Jezza, helped Addi step out of the boat, still clutching her special shells from Mermaid Bay. Thank you for the best boat ride ever, Addi said. The mermaid smiled warmly. You are always welcome here, Addi. And next time, said the mermaids, we might take you to see the Moonlight Lagoon. Addi's eyes widened. Really? She said. The mermaids nodded. If you're ready for another adventure. Addi looked up at her dad. Can we go back, Dad? She asked. Uncle Jizza grinned. I think we'll have to, he said. The mermaids waved goodbye and disappeared beneath the sparkling water, leaving only soft ripples behind. As Addi and her dad, Uncle Jizza, walked home hand in hand, Addi carried her shells carefully and kept smiling to herself. She had sailed in a magical mermaid boat, visited Mermaid Bay, met dolphins, and seen glowing fish dance in the sea. And as she drifted off to sleep that night, Addi dreamed of lantern-lit boats, shimmering mermaids, and the next wonderful adventure waiting just beyond the waves. Good night, children. Sweet dreams. And don't forget, Pa loves you.